Hey guys, Matty Miller, Pursuit Real Estate. Hope you're doing well. And today we're going to talk about placing tenants. And what I mean by that is how to screen them properly, what to look for, what are red flags, what are all those things that create a great tenant, and what are those things that you see that you go, hey, listen, we don't have any other options, but we're going to put this tenant in there, and what to kind of be prepared for if you're a landlord looking to place some new tenants. So, placing tenants. We get this question all the time. How do you screen tenants? Well, great question. And I will largely say this. I've been doing this for almost 15 years at this point. We've made plenty of mistakes. I'm not going to say that we're perfect. Placing tenants largely can be an educated guess because tenants' lives change, things in their personal life go ways that they didn't expect, and they can be a great tenant for a year and then all of a sudden not be a great tenant. So it happens. So the only thing you can do is do the upfront work the best you can. So here at Pursuit Real Estate, we use a couple different theories on doing that. Number one, we have a software, it's a property management software that does screen them as well. We also have access to another skip tracing software that we use. So we do two different kinds of background checks that traces every address they've ever lived at, every car they've ever owned, all those things come into there. Obviously, we do criminal background checks, eviction checks. We obviously do credit checks as well. So credit checks, we obviously do a FICO score. In a perfect world, we are looking for most of our properties. And I think that's the other side too, is you have to understand your level of property. That's a big one. So if I'm renting a house in a market and it's a $4,000 rental, I'm going to have higher expectations based on the credit and the background for that property than I am for something that maybe rents for $1,000 that's a 2-bedroom condo in a different area of town. So understanding the expectations on what type of tenant you're going to attract is very, very important. In certain areas, somebody may come to me with a credit score with 580 and some income and have a decent job, but I'm also going to request documents to track that. So another big thing is we're looking ideally for a perfect situation, minimum 600 credit score, 3 months of income per the property. So just for sake of it, if you have a $2,000 property, you're going to be wanting to rent that for $6,000 in income. So if Joe comes and says, hey Matt, I want to rent your property and I have a job working at Jiffy Lube and I make $2,000 every week and he has $8,000 of income, cool, we're good to go. We got $8,000 of income on a property that rents for $2,000, which my minimum requirement at that point would be $6,000. That's what we're looking for. So for 3 times the rent for income. Obviously, we want to avoid evictions. If they have previous evictions on their record that we find out, that's pretty much a stopper for me. So no evictions on there. If we have felonies, convicted felons are a problem sometimes, especially if they're recent. If they're over 14, 15, 16 years old and they've done their time, those will still pop up. We will see those. So convicted felons over the time of that is, again, we're not going to say no. We only go back 7 to 10 years. So depending on the owner, I'm obviously going to clear it with any owner that we have if they're okay with it. And again, that's kind of the property, understanding your level of property. So lastly, the big one that a lot of people always ask is, well, how do you know they're going to pay on time? The answer is, I don't. I hope. I pray. We try to do the best we can with finding quality people. One thing that we often look at is, how quickly did they answer the phone when we called them and asked them for a document? How quickly did they get those things over? So how quickly tenants move and how much they have their stuff kind of in order kind of gives me an insight as to how responsive they're going to be to me. So as long as there are no evictions, no felonies, all that stuff is in line, I'm kind of looking for the person that has their stuff in order that's going to end up getting that house. Also, at the same time, we don't pit one application against another. If one comes in, we're going to run that and we're either going to approve it or deny it. Bottom line, we don't do bidding wars in real estate property management. That's going to open yourself into fair housing laws. Hey, why did you pick this application over this one? That's probably not a great situation if a property manager is doing that, because there can be a lot of issues that come from that. So if you guys have any questions on how we screen tenants, and that's kind of an insight into what we have, there's a lot of different factors. We have in-depth conversations with our owners when we do place a tenant. And sometimes it's, hey, this person's great. They got a 720 credit score. They got plenty of income. They got 1 pet, no evictions, no felonies. You ready to move forward? Yep, thumbs up. Other times it's, hey, this person has this person has that. Do you feel comfortable with doing that? Can we ask for maybe a higher deposit? We're going to work together to find a tenant that works for you and your property. So if you have any questions about that, my name is Matty Miller with Pursuit Real Estate. Love to talk tenant screening. It's always an interesting topic. But if you have any questions about it, let me know. 904-650-3890. You guys know where to find me.